From the people who brought you Halloween, more of the night he came home. Halloween 2.
There was nothing within him, neither conscience nor reason, that wasn't even remotely human.
Don't miss the all-new Halloween 2. More of the night he came home. Halloween 2, rated R. The horror continues. Now playing at a theater near you.
Thank God I am away from all of those women-hating slasher films of the 80s and can now focus on a slasher film of the 80s. But this one is a sequel to John Carpenter's Halloween, the movie that had a lot of things in common with what I hate about slasher movies, but this one did it first-ish, so it's grandfathered into being a movie that I approve of. So while your Jason Voorhees and your Madman Mars were busy teaching children that there's nothing more to life other than sex and death, Halloween 2 will bring slasher films back to its roots of slow-burning suspense and fantastic cinematography. Jesus Christ! Or fuck it! Let's just blow some shit up! This disappoints me severely. A sequel that ups the ante with more deaths, action, and titties? That's unheard of in a horror sequel. This movie's only purpose is to show us what Halloween would be like if it were made in the slasher days of 1981 and not 1978, and I do not approve of this one bit. I can't tell you what 80s slasher film I'd rather this movie be like, because I don't like any of them, thank you very much, and I've never seen them either. The film's tagline is, "More of the night he came home." Assholes. I didn't think there'd actually be more. VHS subtitles have even called it "The Nightmare Isn't Over," which I guess is better than the original tagline, which was, "For Michael Myers, every night was Halloween night." Halloween 2 picks up directly where the first film leaves off, if the first film left off in 1981. But at least it's still in Haddonfield, and on Thanksgiving. But what's this music I hear? Mr. Sandler, bring me a dream. Trying to fool me into liking your movie by placing in a classic soundtrack, I see. Well, it's working. I can see why they chose this song, since this is a horror series about a guy who kills you in your sleep. Oh hey, are we showing the end of the previous movie? Excellent! That means I can show the end of last year's Halloween review. As a cinema snob, I need to get all soapboxy about it and claim that it's okay when this movie did all of those things. And that there, my friends, is why I hate the word art house. The fuck? Oh, inside jokes. As you can see, Laurie Strode is mourning the loss of her real hair before she has to put on a wig for the rest of the movie. Luckily, they don't show Michael's face this time around, so they don't have to pay the actor. There's a couple of different shots here, like showing how easy it was for Michael to fall off of the balcony, since there was a ramp leading right up to the rails. And remember Loomis's creepy, "I knew this would happen" look at the end of the first film? Fuck it! Switch it out with a "holy shit, this just happened" look. And then inspect the ground so we can see that Michael shit himself on the way down. But truly, the real victims of the first film were the neighbors.
I've been trick-or-treated to death tonight.
You don't know what death is.
Because so many more people die in this film. I guess they corrected one thing in this movie. They fixed the pumpkin's hair lip from the opening credits of the first film. And they show us the inside of, what the hell is going on here? If I'd have known that that's what it looked like on the inside of a silver shamrock mask, I wouldn't have put the damn thing on. Good thing they went into the future to hire the director of Halloween Resurrection. And this is the second Halloween movie in a row that shows us guard dogs not doing their fucking job. If you thought they retconned Dr. Loomis to be more panicky in the opening scene, check this out.
I shot him 6 times. I shot him in the heart.
Can't have gotten very far. Come on.
I shot him 6 times.
Yeah.
That's weird. It sounded like 7 shots to me, but whatever. You're the doctor. Are we doing the opening credits sequence again? Careful, there's a skull in that pumpkin. The horror-thon from the first movie is continuing throughout this one, and I sure hope this is the John Russo version of Night of the Living Dead, because it explains so much. Maybe I'm being too harsh. Perhaps they'll continue with the slow burn of not showing Michael Myers right away, and oh, there he is. He only needs a knife, no big deal.
For you. Look, there comes one of them now.
He'll hear you.
Here he comes now. I'm getting out of here.
That's how everyone in Chicago reacts to ketchup. Unlike in the previous film, it seems that this one has some helpful neighbors.
His wife's always picking on him. He probably got angry and decided to start beating her.
Whatever, that's a whole lot of not my fucking problem. Behind the scenes, director Rosenthal actually did want this film to be paced more like the first one, to set itself apart from the current wave of slasher films. But fearing the movie would bomb, writer-producer John Carpenter added a lot more scenes of death and nudity, which probably explains why we get a lot more scenes like this. Jesus, shooting Michael Myers just made him angrier. He doesn't even stalk you anymore. He just wants you dead quick. It doesn't even matter if you're a babysitter anymore. Speaking of babysitters, it was awfully nice of the paramedics to give her Linda Blair's hair from The Exorcist II: The Heretic. A majority of the movie takes place at the hospital, where it's a very busy night, meaning one kid has something fucked up happen to him.
Oh, God. Oh. Here, just put it up there real gently. You okay? Let's go. Just walk real slow. Come on.
That was actually the very first episode of Brad Tries. The 80s was a very notorious decade for razor blade candy. This kid will get the best treatment the hospital can offer.
Fill out this form. Someone will be with you in a moment.
Oh, but we should see a doctor right away.
He's with a patient. Would you please wait in room 8?
Oh.
Apparently a razor blade sticking through the kid's tongue is considered a non-emergency. Doesn't matter, the doctor's drunk anyway, and he gives Laurie a sedative. That way she can be asleep for a majority of the movie, while still getting top end to the right billing. And rectangular sirens on the ambulances, they did not have those in 1978. What's next? Are there gonna be palm trees in the background, even though this is Illinois? Meanwhile, Dr. Loomis is the calm yet very worried doctor from the first film, meaning he's an armed vigilante chasing down anyone who looks like Michael Myers. That is, if Michael Myers stopped for a bag of candy first. Trick or treat, motherfucker! A real emergency comes in when Sheriff Brackett finds out his daughter Annie was one of the ones killed. Don't worry, I'm sure someone will stay with the burning corpse. At least this kid is okay.
Oh, sweetie, I can't understand you. Look, it'll be okay. We'll play some games tonight and...
Maybe he should go to sleep, considering the massive amount of blood loss and his newly forked tongue. And now Laurie suffers a fate worse than Michael Myers, being hit on by the last starfighter. She's actually way more interested in Lance Guest's brother Christopher, no actual relation. And if you look very closely, hey, it's Dana Carvey making his big screen debut in a role that's way funnier than Master of Disguise. But still, this is my least favorite Dana Carvey-Mike Myers collaboration. Seriously, the sheriff is just finding out about this. This happened like 3 years ago. And Christ, boys, you could have closed our eyes first. Donna D'Errico's eavesdropping in the background and reporting that Michael Myers shot himself. The townspeople are obviously very distraught about this, calmly walking along on their merry way.
Was taken across town to Haddonfield Memorial Clinic.
Hey, the Halloween theme comes in really good on that radio. And Michael has just returned from getting his blonde highlights, I see. At this pace, he'll make it to the hospital by about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Or, you know, in about 5 minutes. My God, she's parked in the visitors' parking when she's clearly an employee. She is so dead. The TV horror-thon continues as the security guard is watching Halloween 2 on the monitor. Shouldn't they be listening to a non-stop loop of Nights in White Satin? It's gonna be a shame to see these employees go. They're the best of friends.
You don't have to swear, Bud.
Well, she's a goddamn moron anyway.
Every other word you say is either hell or shit or damn.
Sorry. I guess I just fuck up all the time.
Ugh, Steve Perry is an ass in this. Wait, hang on. We gotta wait for the cameraman to get downstairs first before we continue on with the rest of the movie. Let's just kill some time by showing more of Leo Rossi.
Amazing Grace. Come sit on my face. Don't make me cry. I need your pie.
Oh, sorry, he's Andrew Dice Clay now. As if impending death wasn't enough, this nurse is also being reprimanded.
You were late again tonight.
As you can see, it's a madhouse here, and Lance is off providing exposition to the patients.
In the Myers house? That little kid who killed his sister?
Yeah.
Alright, she never was told who Michael Myers was in the first movie.
Why me? Why me?
Don't worry, they'll explain it, and it'll be really stupid. I don't know why everyone is so nervous here. Look, they have a security guard. See? They sacrificed the fat security guard, leaving them plenty of time to escape. This poor guy, though, I don't think he's gonna make it.
He's young, maybe 17, maybe 18.
Michael Myers is 21.
Oh yeah? Well, the ending credits says that he's 23. One thing is definitely for sure in this film, Dr. Loomis can't count. There, this'll show Michael Myers. Trash is already trashed house. Somehow I think he'd be more offended if they actually cleaned up the place. And it's not like anyone important was killed.
Mr. Hunt?
Yeah, what is it, Craig?
Yeah, I'm worried about Bennett Tramer.
He isn't home yet.
Yeah, and he left the party at 10.
He was real drunk.
How old is he?
17.
He had this stupid mask on.
Wait, Ben Tramer? The Ben Tramer?
I'd rather go with Ben Tramer. Ben Tramer?
Now Lori has to settle for Lance Guest? And why am I being so mean to Lance Guest? And fuck you people and your smiling faces. Fucking Ben Tramer just died, you insensitive pricks. While Dr. Loomis may have his numerical shortcomings in this film, at least he's still good at monologuing.
There was a force inside him, biding its time. The staff grew accustomed to his immobility and silence.
Oh, I get it. Michael Myers is evil. No matter what problems I have with this film, so far it's done a pretty good job at not resorting to cheap jump scares. At least this takes care of my complaint about the first one not being enough like candy stripe nurses.
Let's go down to the therapy room. Bud's finger needs a little bit of therapy.
I can't leave the kids right now.
But everybody's all weirded out tonight. All this Michael Myers crap.
Now look, babe, there's a mass killer running around murdering people. The smartest thing for us to do is to have premarital sex. Although if they leave to have sex, who is gonna look after these empty-ass hallways? Or wake up Laurie Strode in case of flashback?
I told you. I'm not your mother.
Harsh? The fuck was the context of that statement? Who gives a shit? We gotta put this therapy hot tub to good use. Especially after old man Johnson took a shit in it this afternoon. And I'm glad that the money I spent watching Halloween 2 went to seeing Leo Rossi's ass. Unlike other horror villains at the time, Michael doesn't wait for Leo to climax. I guess you could say that in this film, Leo Rossi doesn't make a fast getaway. It should be noted that Myers actor Dick Warlock was the shortest actor to ever play Michael Myers. Probably why he has to stand on a stool first. Whatever, it's so much scarier when he's the size of a house. Oh, and she's not gonna climax either. Look at the bright side. At least his hand is okay. I don't know why me and my fellow critics are so upset at this movie. Most of it is just Michael Myers doing things that would gravely injure, but not necessarily kill a person. And somewhere during all of this, Michael Myers found the time to break into his old grade school and complete his spelling assignment.
Samhain. It means the Lord of the Dead.
It's Samhain, Doctor. I love when the nurse from the previous film shows up, and Loomis is pleasantly surprised, but meanwhile the deputy next to him is so fucking surprised, he looks like he just ran into the nameless bar woman that he banged the night before. If you're wondering why the nurse showed up, it's to tell Loomis why he's a terrible doctor.
Dr. Loomis, this thing is all over the state.
Patient escapes once, murders 3 teenagers. You shoot him with a gun, he escapes again.
Nope, not buying it. This guy was so not a teenager. And no love for dead truck guy? And at least Michael didn't have a hand in offing Ben Tramer, you insensitive prick. And look what you've done. Jamie Lee has to resort to playing dead in order to get out of the movie. Don't worry, she's not dead. Rick Rosenthal will pick a much more stupid way to kill her several movies from now. Maybe the drunk doctor can wake her up out of her plot coma. And people in the 80s chose really stupid ways to do drugs. And fuck it, this shot from the first movie was effective, so let's do it again. See, critics? We're not like the other slasher films of the 80s. We're ripping off Halloween! Crap. What can we do to please you? While Michael takes his rage out on Laurie's pillow, she makes a clean escape, even though she probably could have hid under the bed since Michael didn't check there. Instead, she's desperately hiding from people asking her for a cameo in the Terror Train or Prom Night remakes. Alright, there's still a nurse left. Huh, that's weird. The security guard never leaves his hat behind. He must have a hammer in his head. By the way, 1981 was a very popular year for officers getting hammers plowed into their heads. I guess Lance Guest will have to be the acting security guard.
Listen, I can't find anybody. Bud's gone. Mrs. Alves is gone.
And no one seems to be worried that we have 0 patients. Doesn't anyone else find this weird? And this lady doesn't count. This actually has nothing to do with Michael Myers. It's just a Ben Tramer blood donation that went terribly wrong. Before he can jet off to the arcade, he slips and bangs his head. But to be fair, there was a sign saying that they just put down a fresh coat of paint. Ain't nobody getting out of this hospital. Not only did Michael slash the tires of the live nurses, but he also slashed the tires of the ones he already killed. I don't think they're going anywhere, dude. And this is really gonna give her serious back issues, but probably not kill her. There's a look that says, "Pfft, seen it." Also, this is a little far-fetched. Why can't it go back to being realistic, like shoving a 3-foot knife into a guy's chest? Oh geez, I recognize that music. That's the chase music from the first movie. I need to haul ass! Just to make sure that Laurie didn't leave, Michael slashed Annie's tires back at the house. We wait until Christmas to hang up these decorations, Michael. This guy still isn't as hammered as Dr. Mixture. I hear in the original version of the script his name was Dr. Spritzer. And I'm pretty sure that at this point the hospital has more boxes than patients. Yet another drawn-out climatic slasher movie chase scene, I see. Why couldn't it build up proper suburban neighborhood suspense like that movie with Laurie Strode and Michael Myers? I think the big twist in the movie comes when the elevator teleports her right back to 1955. Here's another doctor who needs a good stiff drink.
Don't feel sorry for me. Feel sorry for that little town back there. The years before they forget this.
Yeah, 10 years to be exact, and in between that time they'll be mourning the events of 1982. You know, I think we could just skip this scene entirely. It's not like anything important is gonna be said.
That girl, that Strode girl, that's Michael Myers' sister.
What?
She was born 2 years before he was committed. 2 years after, his parents died and she was adopted by the Strodes. They requested that the records be sealed in order to protect the family.
Except for the time they apparently told her and introduced her to Michael, which I guess she forgot about until she dreamed it. That's okay. You're adopted and you have a brother who's in the insane asylum is usually the kind of thing a kid forgets. Somehow this was a hell of a lot creepier when he was just stalking babysitters for the fuck of it. If she was his sister, why wouldn't she have been the first person he killed in the previous film? When he killed his other sister, he didn't attack the neighbors first. And of course, this is a plot line that they kept in not only the other sequels, but in the remakes too. That's like if they made any more Jaws movies and continued to make the sharks have a vendetta against the Brodies. God damn it, Lance Guest, stop appearing in horror sequels where they unnecessarily bond the killers and the heroines. At least Dr. Loomis seems to be taking this lightly.
What does you fellas usually do? Fire a warning shot, right?
Christ! And they called Malcolm McDowell unsubtle? Speaking of Lance Guest, I guess he's dead. I don't know. He kind of passes out from the movie. I know that in the alternate TV cut, he pops in at the end. When I'm not watching that version, they cut out all the sex and violence that I've been complaining about in this version. Loomis makes it to the hospital. I hope she doesn't scream for help until they're too far away to hear her. Help me! Ugh, there's some crazy wig lady screaming in the parking lot. Just ignore. We gotta find Laurie. You know, if Michael could run, I have a feeling this story wouldn't have stretched over 2 movies. Also, he's paying for that fucking door. Oh my god, he shot him 6 more times! Typical slasher, where the killer is never dead, unlike in the first one when he stayed dead. I'm just gonna throw this out there. They could probably lose him. The poor son of a bitch can't even catch an elevator. And don't give Laurie the gun. How good of a shot could she possibly be? I believe that more than I believe that they're brother and sister. Well, since Michael was Loomis's only patient, I guess there's only one way for them to go out.
It is time, Michael.
Is it too late to tell him that throwing in a torch or a Molotov cocktail would have had the same effect? Shit, Michael put on one of those fire suits. I guess it's one that only lasts a few seconds, though. And then Michael Myers, Laurie Strode, and Dr. Loomis were never seen in movies again, and the franchise became a successful line of Halloween-themed anthology films. In a slightly more perfect world. Hey, wouldn't it be funny if they put her in the ambulance and then just parked and took her back out? She's gonna need another stiff cocktail once they tell her what happened to Ben Tramer. This must be what set Laurie onto her goth phase. Hell, maybe Ben's in the ambulance with her. Oh, hang on, the theme is kicking in.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Make him the cutest that I've ever seen.
Between this and Halloween H2O, I guess Mr. Sandman is the unofficial Halloween theme. That is, until it was replaced by Love Hurts, of course. Oh, how the mighty have fallen indeed. This movie completely missed the point of everything that made the first film great, which was the impending romance of Laurie Strode and Ben Tramer, who they abruptly killed off in the first act of this film. See? The people on the IMDb message boards get it, asking, who's the bigger drunk, Ben Tramer or Dr. Mixture? Well, to my knowledge, Ben Tramer wasn't operating on anyone, so I believe that Dr. Mixture is in the wrong here. Or how about Ben Tramer dressed as Michael Myers? Why? Well, sure. Blame the victim. Also, it was already established in the first one that the pale-faced William Shatner mask was a hot item at the time, so why wouldn't he be wearing that? Halloween was a film that greatly inspired 80s slasher films, which in turn inspired Halloween 2 to be more like 80s slasher films. Which means I don't care if this movie is entertaining, it's not like the first one, and it gives me the chance to properly insult slasher films once more. So boo on this movie! The film was still a box office success, bringing in around $25 million against a $2 million budget, so you know what that means. Sequels! Which also means I'll have to spotlight more of these movies come future Halloween seasons.
Will you put that thing away?